Good evening. A warm welcome to all viewers of Unacademy Chess India. Guys, today I'm going to, you all know that I'm an Arena International Master Gajengi Rajababu, who is going to teach you the fundamentals of chess middle game. In fundamentals of chess middle game, I am going to cover several tactics. In my last lecture, I have already covered pin, and in today's lecture I am going to cover knight fork. You all know that the middle game in chess is basically a segment between opening stage as well as end game stage, and you all also know that one of the main aspect of the middle game is tactics, which in fact is the most enjoyable part of the game. Now tactics involves combinations as well as sacrifices. Now to viewers, I want to ask you a very basic question. If you are aware of the how the pieces moves, then you can easily answer this question. My question goes like this: what is the main objective in the chess game? That means like when you are playing chess game, then what should be your main objective? So I'm waiting for your answer, guys. I know that I think someone is answering. Yeah, the main objective in the chess game is giving checkmate to your opponent. If you are playing with white pieces, then you have to checkmate black king, and if you are playing with black pieces, then you have to checkmate white king. So this is the main objective of chess game. So when you're playing a game, then you should only aim to checkmate your opponent's king. Now, since I'm going to take the topic of fundamentals of middle game, then I'm going to ask you one more question. The question is, what is the objective during the middle game? That means like what we should achieve in the middle game. हमारा objective क्या होना चाहिए? Like you know कि the objective of the game is to checkmate our opponent's king. Then during the middle game, as I said, like a chess game is having three phases, like opening phase, middle game as well as end game. So what should be the main objective during in the middle game? Do anyone know this? So I'm waiting. So when we are playing a game of chess, in the middle game, when your opening phase is over, then during the middle game we should try to get an advantage. We should aim for advantage. Now what type of advantage we can aim in the middle game? Guys, there are two types of advantages in the middle game. One is qualitative advantage and second is quantitative advantage. Now let's understand what is qualitative advantage and what is quantitative advantage. Now, the word itself, the word itself says quality and quantity. Now, quality, the quality of pieces. Like suppose, in the game we have six different type of pieces like king, queen, rooks, knights, bishops and pawns. So how is their quality in the game, like where they are placed? So we have to remember those basics, like rooks belongs to open files, whether the rooks are belongs to open file, the bishops belongs to diagonals, open diagonals, so whether the bishops are in open diagonals, knights belongs to center, so whether the knights are placed in the center, or whether they are having some outpost, whether your king is safe, whether the queen is occupying a diagonal as well as the open files, whether your pawns are very well advanced, placed in the center. So all these things decides the quality of pieces, and that is what your qualitative advantage. Now let's talk about the quantitative advantage. So in simple word, I can say a quantitative advantage is also known as material advantage. Now the many people might not knowing material advantage. In very simple words, we can say that when we are starting our game, during that time both the players having equal pieces or equal number of pieces, both the players are playing with one queen each, two knights each, two bishops each, eight pawns each, they are playing. So in the middle game we should try to get a material advantage. ऐसा कुछ करना है by which we can get material advantage. That is what a quantitative advantage. Once you achieve this objective, once this you achieve material advantage, then it will become very easy to win that game. Like to win that game means to checkmate our opponent's king. So we will achieve our main objective. So while playing, do not play without keeping objective in your mind. Now whatever I explained right now, just I'm putting forward. So remember, the main objective in our middle game is getting advantage in the middle game. Next, there are two type of advantages. One is quantitative advantage and second is like qualitative advantage. Now the qualitative advantage we can achieve by better placement of pieces. Even by making some strategy also we can achieve the qualitative advantage. Now the quantitative advantage we can achieve by using tactics and combinations. That's why I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of basic middle game. In that I'm going to cover these tactics. So today we are going to see knight fork in tactics. Now let's see this position, children. Now just look at this knight which is placed in the center of the board. Now knight covers very important squares. You all know that the knight moves in the shape of L. Like we say that knight moves 1, 2 and half step. So remember a very important aspect of the knight. If the knight is standing on the dark square, the knight is standing on the dark square, it always moves to light square. Vice versa, if the knight is standing on the light square, then it will move to the dark square. Now the people who are getting scared of knight, इसको नाइट से डर लगता है, because people think like कि नाइट can jump from here and there, so it is very difficult to spot कि वो कहाँ पर jump करेगा, and like कि what that knight can do. So that time just you have to remember कि where the knight is standing. If the knight is standing in dark square, keep your pieces on dark square, so he cannot attack. Okay, so if it is standing in the light square, keep your piece on the light square, so immediately he can, by moving its piece, he cannot attack. So that's what very like simple. So you have to remember this about the knight. Now let's come to this. My question is, knight fork I'm talking about, like what is knight fork and what is a fork actually? Okay, a fork is a tactics whereby a single piece makes two or more direct attack simultaneously. Like all pieces can give fork, like a queen can give fork, even the rook can give, bishop can give, king can give, pawn can give, even a knight can give. A fork means, in simple language, we can say a double attack, attacking two pieces simultaneously, or in some cases more than two pieces. So you have to just remember, a fork is a tactics where a two or more pieces attacked simultaneously, and when knight is being used, when a knight is being used in that attack, then we call it as knight fork. Now I will show you an example of knight forks. Now look at this example, okay, where look at this example where the white's knight is standing on b5 square. Now after moving the knight to c7 square, here this knight is simultaneously attacking four pieces: black king, black queen, and the rook on a8, the rook on a6. The one knight is attacking all major pieces of black. Now we know that queen, rooks are called major pieces. The knight is attacking those major pieces along with king. Now such type of knight forks are called as royal fork, or it also called as family fork, because एक ही knight ने सबको attack कर दिया. Now the black is having only one move here, that is moving his king. Like as he moves his king somewhere, the knight is having the choice of capturing either a8 rook or a6 rook, or the queen on e6. Now we all know that the relative value, that which piece is more important, the relative value of queen is more than these rooks. So definitely now knight will capture this queen, and after, as a recapture, now you look at the position. Now the black is having only two rooks, and the white is having here, the white is having two pieces. Now after this, as I told you that in this royal fork means, like after moving this king d7, knight into e6, like king into e6, like as I told you that black is having only these two rooks and white is having these two, and also he is having now extra queen. So with this extra queen he can easily win that game. So that means what he achieved, Now he achieved the middle game advantage, or we can say that material advantage. So it is very easy, guys. Now from here it is very easy to win for black. Now look at the next position, a more complex way of knight forks. Now look at this position. Now here a little complicated position, so many pieces on the board, so many pieces on the board. Now white is very happy here, like he's thinking, white, that this bishop on b2 is attacking the knight on c3, knight on h4 is attacking bishop on f5, the bishop on g2 is attacking the knight on a4. Now the white is thinking, if he get a chance, so in the next move he can easily capture this bishop, and later on he can capture this knight. If he capture with this knight, he can easily capture with this queen, and he can win more material. So this is what running in white's mind. But in this position, unfortunately it is black's turn. Now the black is giving very hard time to white. Now look at this position. In this position, black plays knight captures g3. When he is capturing g3 pawn, now look at what exactly he is doing. What exactly he is doing? He is attacking this queen with the bishop. Now the black is having various moves. For example, if he captures this knight, so simply he will lose his queen. So capturing that knight is not good idea for white. Even capturing with this pawn, this also leads the same thing. The bishop will capture queen. So why can't he capture this knight with queen? Let's see what happens. If he captures this with queen, then simply the knight will capture on e2 pawn, and he will give knight fork, and he will lose his queen again. So that means what? After knight into g3, white cannot capture this knight. So the next question is, can he capture this bishop? Let's see what will happen if he captures this bishop. If he captures this bishop, these knights will give very tough time to white. He will capture this, give check. Now see, the king is not having any place to move. कोई जगह नहीं है उसको जाने के लिए. Now it is compulsory to capture this, and again he will lose queen. Let's see any other option. Like for example, like suppose if he moves his queen to d2, just run away from there, then again the same thing is going to happen. The knight into e2, again no place, he need to give away his queen, and again the black will win queen with this attack. Now let's see, rather than that, if he moves wherever, like even though if he moves queen on e3, the same thing is going to happen. Now the one more option we will see, that what if we play pawn on e4, then again the same thing is going to happen. Knight on e2 check, no escaping square for king, so he need to give away, and he will win material. Like he will be having material advantage, and after getting material advantage he can easily win the game. So this is what the power of knights and the power of knight forks. Only thing is that you have to look for those forks, like attack with knights. Suppose if you are having knights, then you have to look for those 8 squares where he can move, and then in those squares, from those squares you can attack your opponent's pieces simultaneously. Now let's move to the next position. Now this position here, the black is completely relaxed. Now first of all, like whenever someone gives you a position, immediately you have to see who is having material advantage. That is what the first, any chess player, whether you are a beginner or whether you are an intermediate player or whether you are an expert or maybe like advanced player, it is good to check material on the board and to conclude like who is having material advantage. Now immediately I will just show you how to check that. Like white is having queen, the black is having queen, so both are having equal material. White is having 2 rooks, black is having 2 rooks, that is also like equal. Now similarly here, white is having knight, black is also having knight, and 1 minute, some issue, 1 minute guys. Okay, there is some with this position. Yeah, all right. Now when we check this, we will come to know like even the minor pieces, the black is having 3 minor pieces, white is also having 3 minor pieces, and white is having 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns, and black is having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. So here we can say that the black is having 1 pawn extra. So we can say that the black is having slight advantage of that extra 1 pawn, and the black thought like the white can give this knight fork, ये knight fork दे सकता है, attack on this, attack on this. But the thing is what, black is having the defender, like he is having knight and he is defending this critical f6 square. Now if white wants to give this attack, then simply the black can capture this. So therefore white thought for some time and he got a brilliant move here. He got a brilliant move. Can you guess what was this brilliant move here? Can anyone guess? Oh wow, Anshul Purandre, he gave the answer like queen capture d7. So the one who is defending f6 square, so he removed that defender. Now let's see what happens if he captures this bishop into d7. Then we are ready to knight on f6 check. Now king is going to move to h8. Now he can also move to g7, but there is a problem with this g7. Now the white can give a discover check with bishop and also check with knight, and also this knight giving knight fork. See, so many threats, so many tactics in one move. So there is a discover check also, there is a knight fork also, there is a double check also, so many attacks. And after moving this king anywhere, the black will lose queen. Now same thing will happen if he moves to h8. Knight into e8, check, knight captures that, and if the king moves to g8, now he will capture this queen. Now look at the end of these moves. Now end of these moves, white is having two rooks and three minor pieces, and black is having only one rook and two minor pieces. So that means he is down one rook and one knight in that entire sequence of moves, and those sequence of moves only called as combination, and in this combination we involved knight fork. So this is the power of combinations. So therefore in the middle game you have to play very well to achieve the objective of material advantage. Now here using king h7, I think after an f6 check, I think king h7 is illegal. It is not possible. Okay, Anshul? It is not possible. Now, look at the another position. Now here, as I told you that, first do the assessment. Every position you should do assessment. Like I am having queen, like white is having queen, black is having queen. Both are equal. White is having two minor pieces, black is having two minor pieces. It's equal. So far the big pieces are equal. Let's look at the pawns. 5 pawns. Black is also having 5 pawns. So material wise the position is equal. Material wise position is equal. Now in this position white can win more material by brilliantly sacrificing his queen. Let's see how that's going to possible. So actually here the previous move which black played earlier, the pawn was on e7. So he thought everything is defended and he thought to kick this knight. He thought kick this knight by playing pawn on e6. उसे लगा कि the knight looking very dangerous, so I will kick this knight. Suppose if he gives this check, just I will move my king and nothing will happen. This is what black thought. ब्लैक ने यही सोचा कि नाइट सपोज चेक दिया तो जस्ट आई विल मूव my king, so nothing will happen. That is what he thought, and he simply played pawn on e6, but he thought for only one move. उसे और देखना चाहिए था. He should have, think a sequence of moves. Now see what will happen here. Knight on f6 check. With this he is having two options to move king to f7 or king to h8. Let's see. King to f7, queen to g7 check, king captures queen, and the knight fork. If king moves wherever, the king moves to f7, he can capture this check, and if you try to attack this knight, he can give another knight fork, and he can keep winning more materials. Now right now at the end of this combination, at the end of these moves, white is having two minor pieces and black is having only one minor piece, and then it will become very easy for any pro player to win from here. So to learn these techniques, like from such winning position how to win, then you have to keep visiting our channel which is called Unacademy, Chess India. So once you visit that, then in coming lectures you will come to know how to win from such positions. Because in every class it is not possible to cover all aspects, openings, middle games, as well as end game. So this is what our end game techniques, like how to win from here once you reach your material advantage. Now let's move from here. This is another a brilliant combination which involves queen sacrifice. But before that, as I told you that in every position we have to do first assessment, at least a material assessment we have to do, like what we have and what our opponent is having. Like basically go with the major pieces first: queen, queen, rooks, rooks, minor pieces also same, 2 2, and let's count pawns: 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So material wise it is equal, and the middle game is going on, and he knew his objective of the middle game is what? To win material, or to get the material advantage, which comes under our quantitative advantage. So here he got a brilliant combination. I will give questions to audience, viewer के लिए भी questions है, but before that let's see how this combinations comes, how this combinations works. So he played queen on f8. Now with this move, queen on f8, black king is not having any escaping square, so it is compulsory to capture, so which we called in chess force to capture. Like it is force to capture, it's compulsory, there is no getting away from this position. So the white captures with rook. Now again, all this, the sequence of moves are forced moves. This. Now simply the knight captures d7 squares and gives knight fork. Now with this knight fork, he is attacking king as well as the queen. Now as this king moves, he will capture that queen. Now look at this position. At the end of the sequence of these moves, white is having rook, knight and bishop, and the black is having rook and knight. So he simply is having one extra bishop, and with this extra bishop he can easily win. Now a quick revision what we have learned about this knight fork, and after this I'm going to give some exercises to viewers to solve. Now what I said, our main objective in the middle game is to get the advantage, either qualitative or quantitative. To get the quantitative advantage, which is also called a material advantage, we have to use tactics and we have to use combinations. Now in our tactics we are learning knight fork, and while doing the knight fork you have to see your knights on the board, and also you have to see where they can move. Sometimes it is very easy to give the knight fork because knight forks are easily available. If opponent pieces are placed in that way, so you can simply give a knight fork. It is a very simple example, you are just going to a hotel and ordering some dish, your favorite dish, whatever, Like you can order anything and you can have, like you are going to Pizza Hut and you are ordering pizza and you are getting it. So sometimes everything you will get on the platter. Easily तुमको मिल जाएगा night fork. Wow, मिला and then just you moved your night and you got it. But like कि when we are dining at home, जब घर पे खाना खाते हैं, then we have to prepare it. We have to bring vegetables, we have to bring everything, and then we have to prepare it, we have to cook it, and then we have to eat it. Similarly, in most of the positions, we have to prepare these attacks. They will not come in ready-made. Sometimes it may come, but most of the times we have to prepare those attacks. Like suppose in the given position, if the pins are not there, then you have to create those pins. In the given position, if the knight forks are not there, then you have to create those knight forks. You have to visualize, like my knight is here, if my knight goes to that particular square, उस particular square में जाएगा, so he can attack those two pieces. So you have to create, so you have to learn making those attacks, those forks, you have to create them. So remember, these knight forks or those pins are not readily or ready-made available. You have to create them by using your brain. So that's why this game is called thinking game. So where in every stage there is the thinking is involved. Yes, we are learning the skills of tactics we are learning, but to apply those skills we have to create them on the board by thinking. Now it's a time for a test or to judge viewers how much they understood about this night folks. So let's see. Now this position is played by Grandmasters Reti and Tartakover in New York in 1924. In 1924 this game is played. So it's simply a white to play and win. So here if you see, the white is having less material on the board. He is having only one knight and the black is having queen. So black is having upper hand, but the white can win more material. Yes, I think Divya is answered. She has answered this. The move is knight f5. Very good. Knight f5 and he is giving knight fork. And after king moves, now remember here the black king is having a lot of squares to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So sometimes a defender can move anywhere, but it is better to move your king in the center in the end game. So therefore, out of those squares is moving to f6 and now simply is capturing queen. And now if we look at the position, the black is only having 2 pawns and white is having 3 pawns and 1 knight. So from here it is an elementary method. It's a very simple method to win. And those who don't know, you have to watch our channel Unacademy Chess India. So in that, like our trainers will teach you how to win from such winning positions. So then it will become very easier for any viewer to win. Now just look at the next position. Now it is white to play. Just look at the position. The black is having tremendous advantage here. The black is having tremendous advantage. If you see, look at the given position. He is having only 2 pieces, knight and rook. but black is having queen, two rooks, knight, and five pawns. So what to do here? So can we do knight fork? Oh, great. I think Divya got the answer. Brilliant. So here simply knight capture f7. We will move king to g8, and now you can simply capture that d6. Now we'll count the material. Now if we will count the material after two moves, see the white is having advantage, is having one extra pawn as compared to black. And look at this initial position. Here the black was having so many pieces and he was having huge advantage, but simply after this knight fork the advantage neutralizes, and the table turned. Instead of instead of black, now the white's chances are more to win this game. This game is played at Moscow in year 1935. Now look at the next position. Let's see whether you can. Now I will turn the board. Now it will become very simple. It is black to play. This game is played in 1976 in between Refleger and Vrittensen. Okay, I think here that Banu Ali is asking what is material assessment. I think they missed our video from the beginning. The material assessment means to check who is having a material advantage in the given position, because this is middle game position we are taking. We are not seeing the game from the beginning. We are taking one of the famous positions from the famous games. Now in material advantage, what we have to actually see that what we are having and what our opponent is having. Like if both are having equal pieces, then we can neutralize it. The advantage is neutral. Like the any which ways the king will remain on the board. So here white is having queen, black is having queen. So both neutralizes. It's like in Hindi we say fittus. So it is equal. So here black is having one knight, white is having bishop, equal. But here look at the white is having rook and black is not having any rook. So the white is having the advantage of this rook, and also the white is having 1 2 3 4 5 pawns and the black is having 4 pawns. So in this position right now the white is having this material advantage, and this we came to know by this material assessment. So without doing assessment we will not come to know, हमको पता नहीं चलेगा who is having right now advantage. So with this assessment we came to know that white is having advantage, but now it is black's turn. So here, yes, here show that queen h1 and f2. Which one show that queen h1 and f2 game? Okay, so that game I will find. If I will get that game, I will definitely show the queen h1 and f2. It's like a fork. I think that queen h1 and f2 game is shown by Rahil. I think in day before yesterday's lecture, he showed that game. It's multiple sacrifices uh, where I think black sacrifices queen on h1 and he wins that game. If you want, you can visit and watch that video. So it is there, that video you will get in the video library. So I am Rahil Malik shown that game. But right now here Yes. Knight f3 check. King to f2 and knight captures d2. Now let's do the material assessment again. So now white is having queen. Sorry, extremely sorry. Black is having queen and knight, and white is having rook and bishop. So material wise, black is having extra material. He's having material advantage. That means what he got is middle game objective. He achieved his middle game objective. Now only by using his skills, end game skills, he can convert this position into winning, and he can easily win this game. Now let's move the next position. Now this is sorry, this is black to play, but before making move, just do a material assessment and find out who is having advantage. And but any which ways, now it is black's turn. Let's find out the move. So I'm waiting here. Yes, anyone who can answer this question? So it's very simple now. This position to answer. Still I'm waiting to get the answer. Yeah, okay. So the move is knight on f2 check. Wait, the knight on f2 check. The king moves. We can simply capture d3 queen and we can win material. But here don't make a blunder. The blunder of capturing this. If you capture that, he will easily capture this. And if you capture this bishop, but still the white is having advantage because he is having queen and bishop, and the black is having only two rooks. So here the best move is, after king g1, the best move is knight captures d3, and after rook into rook you can capture this. And now see here, the white is having two bishops and the black is having rook and knight, and you all know that the rook is better than bishop. Now let's move. Is any viewer having a doubt like why rook is better than bishop? If you have a doubt, then you can watch our previous videos. So there is easily explained the relative value of pieces. The piece which covers maximum number of squares is having the better relative value. Means, like suppose if any piece is kept on the center, like suppose if I keep my queen on the center, if it covers number of squares, like maximum number of squares, so his relative value is more. So like that, the relative value of rook is more than bishop. Let's go to the next. Now look at this position. It's black to play. How black will win this game? Just think and let me know how to win this game. Now first of all, the extreme beginner players, what they can do, they can just, you know, spot your knight and see where this knight can move, which squares this knight can move. Okay, you know that the knight from the dark square will move to light square. So these are the 8 squares where this knight can move. And out of these 8 squares, this is the square, or this is a square from where he can attack king and also attack this rook. So this knight, after moving here, simultaneously attack king and rook. And after the king moves, he can simply he can simply capture this rook, and now he will easily win this game. So remember, you have to spot knight and then you have to find out where it can move from there. Now look at this position. This is white to play. So how white will win this game? I'm waiting for your answer. As I told you that you have to do the same thing. This game is played in 1900 at Paris by Chigorian, and in this game he immediately found knight h5 and he gave the knight 4, and after moving king to g6 he simply captured f6 queen with his knight. Now here don't make a blunder by capturing this queen into f6 and king into f6. This then now the black will be having advantage. So therefore, with after this check, king g6, simply capture queen, and here we can get this queen. But here if we play properly, then I think there are chances of white giving checkmate to black king. Can finish game here only by capturing queen on f6 and sacrificing this knight on h5. Now here suppose if he captures this h5 knight, then queen into f5. If king comes to h4, he can simply checkmate, and if he moves king to h6, then he can play queen on f6, king h5, and now by moving g4 he can simply checkmate that king. So we can look for the better moves in given position. Okay, so here there were two chances. One is just capture this and achieve your material advantage, capture this and achieve material advantage, or do a long calculations, or with proper combination you can achieve the main objective of the game, that is checkmating king. So quickly, with this quickly we can checkmate king. Let's move next. This in this position it is black's turn. So can black win here? Can he use knight fork? If yes, answer. Abhinav Tiwari, instead queen into f5. Can it be queen into f7? Which position is talking about? Of queen into f5, can it be queen into f7? Position was talking. Let's go to yes, Abhinav Tiwari is right. He answered knight f3. Very good, Abhinav. Knight into f3, king f2. You can simply capture knight into d2. Okay, so in earlier game he was telling, so let's go to the previous game. In this previous game, instead of queen into f5, can it be queen into f7? Acha, okay, so after this check, king g6, queen into f6, king into h5, so queen into f5. So he's telling instead of queen into f5, is it possible queen into f7? So in queen into f7, your opponent can defend by playing bishop on g6. He can defend his space. So now, like it will become little longer, you know, to checkmate your opponent. So still this position is winning for white, but it will take longer time. So the better is capture queen into f5, and within next two moves you can checkmate your opponent. So I think Abhinav's doubt is clear. Now let's quickly move to this position and let's find out here how the black can win this game. Can he win this game? Now when we do material assessment, here the white is having one extra minor piece, like extra bishop is having, but with some combination, let's find out. Is anyone got here? Black can simply, what black can play simply? Can simply play knight f3. With knight f3, in king g2, he can having two options, capturing rook or capturing bishop. Even though wherever the white king moves, black is having two options, capturing rook and capturing bishop. What will you capture, rook or bishop? Quickly answer in my inbox. What is better? Capturing bishop is better here, capturing rook is better. So I will go for bishop, because if I capture this rook, then my knight will also get recaptured. So I will be I'm getting one piece, but also losing one piece. But here purely I'm getting bishop. And now when I do my material assessment, I will be one pawn up, like one pawn extra. So with that one extra pawn, I can win. So masters, especially like grandmasters, international masters, advanced players, they can easily convert that one extra pawn into winning endgame. So that will be very easy for them to convert that position. Okay, so to know that, we have to do a lot of practice. Okay, a quick revision what we have learned today, that in fundamentals of chess middle game, we have seen the main objective of the middle game is to get advantage, and there are two types of advantages, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative means you have to improve the placement of your pieces by making a proper strategy. Like तुम्हारे rooks जो है वो open files और rank में होने चाहिए. Bishop should be in open diagonals. Knight should be centrally placed with good support, with good outpost. Pawns should be placed in the center. It should control center and also like advance them. Your king should be very safe. Your queen should also control central files as well as the, or maybe like any open files and diagonals, so that will give you a good qualitative advantage. But when we are talking about a quantitative advantage, that means material advantage, then you have to use chess tactics. In tactics, so many tactics are there. You have to use those tactics to get material advantage. Like the master says that chess is a 99% tactics and 1% a positional game. So like with the tactics you can win 99% of the games. So therefore you have to solve lot of tactics. Okay guys, now we will meet on our next lecture. And now our channel only the one more lecture is there by one of our very good educator, so you can watch him now. Thank you guys.